Welcome back, friends. We're going to be processing a lot of the copper and motors that we got out of the last video. I'm not going to show breaking down stuff like, I might cut one compressor open for y'all. I'm not going to cut every single one of them open on camera. You see, we got some of the motors here. I've said it in other videos, my plan is to get everything moved out behind my bandsaw mill. That's going to be my scrap metal area. I'm going to have a little building built onto the back just for my scrapping. And I'll get me a good size vise. This is just a tiny one. I think this is like a 4.5 or a 5. It's better than nothing. So I really need a bigger one. Now that is probably the smoothest I have ever cut one of these off. I call that a crown. That was real smooth using that fine tooth blade on the Porter bandsaw. Nice. I don't mind using the my cutoff wheel. And of course it's going to sling stuff, and then the sawzall is going to, you get that back and forth motion is going to make a big mess. That right there was really smooth. I'm quite partial to that Porter band. And now we'll just do this. We'll just go around and work it out of there. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Some of them are a little more stubborn than others, but there we go. See that crown? I call it a crown because it looks like one. Your crown, king, the copper king. So that's good enough. They really don't raise a fuss about that string. Let's see what this weighs. Let me throw it on a scale here real quick. 2.084 pounds of copper right there in that motor. Nice. We're going to throw it in our bucket there. Let's finish it with the side grinder. Alright, you probably saw that kind of open up. And that motor should just fall right out of the inside there. Oh, my little cord part's holding it. Hold on. It would have fell out, but the cord right there. Let's cut it. There we go. Shred steel. And there we go, friends. We got another motor just like we had. So let's put this one up here and hit it with a Porter band. But first, let me pause the camera and get all these zip ties off of here. Alright, let me zoom in so you can see this better. Alright, here we go. That was nice. Like butter, my friends. Went right through there. And there we go, friends. We got it out. Boop. We'll weigh this one up. This one's a little lighter. It is zoom you out, I'm sorry. This one's a little lighter. It comes in at 1.744 pounds. Alright friends, here's another pool pump. I'm going to take this one apart for you. I think I try to give advice when I can about how to get free scrap. Now, it just so happens I was at the pool supply store, and boy, the wind is blowing hard today. Anyway, I was at the pool supply store, and I got to talking to the owner. They were testing the water I brought them, let me know what I needed to do. And I said, by the way, I said, I have this scrap channel, Copper Eye Joe. I scrap, you know, I give 50% of everything that's donated to me to charities or charitable causes. And they said, well, we just threw a pump in the dump out there. She said, go on out there, feel free to get it. So I left her my number, and she said, from now on, when we get a pump, we'll call you. And that's kind of in the area I work in at work. So I told them just to save them up or let me know, and I'll come down and get them. So yeah, I got this pump here. Hopefully it is copper windings. It probably will be. But sometimes you just got to shoot your shot, friends. You never know till you ask. Look, I used to, every time I'd see a heating and air guy down at work, I work around a retirement village. Every time I'd see these guys, I would ask them. And out of 10 heating and air places, 2 of them said yes and gave me stuff. So just because you get told no 5 times don't mean you quit. Keep going. It works better when you do it the easy way. There we go. Now I can clean this right here up, and I'll have some cast aluminum. So I need the right size. I'll deal with this later. There's 2 screws here to remove that stuff, and that's clean cast. I'll just put that to the side. I normally have a barrel. I have another 25-gallon barrel I fill with cast aluminum. Now let's see here, friends. I really don't have to mess with this much. I could just split this case, and the motor should fall off the armature. Oh yeah, there we go. Now that right there is irony aluminum. I could let that go as irony aluminum. I have in the past. It does pay a little more than steel or what have you. Now once again, we'll take the, let me pause so you don't have to hear the noise. We'll take the side grinder, split this casing, and it'll fall right out. Alright, casing is split. Shred steel. And we got us another motor here. Again, I'll take and clean all this mess off this insulated wire, and then I'll do just like I did the others. Alright, let me pause you and find something else. Okay, here's a compressor out of the Coke machine from the last video. We didn't scrap it, but I took this out off camera. Now, I've already cut the top open off camera. Didn't want you to have to listen to all that noise. I cut it almost all the way and then flipped it up like a lid. And it fell off anyway. So there's the lid. And here we are inside. Cut some of this loose so this will come out of there. Some of this will look like copper tubing, but it's not. It's steel. It's just got a copper coating on it. You just throw it in your shred and go on. You'll see when you cut it loose that it's steel on the inside. Set that down. A little bit of oil in there. I'll pour that into a bucket that I collected in. So now all I got to do is take these 4 bolts out, and this motor will come away from the compressor. So let's see if we got the right size. There it is. Take and zip these 4 out. we go. Come right off of there. Now this, if I could get this out of there, I'd probably get iron aluminum, but I'm not even going to worry about it. I'll throw that in steel. That could really go in prepared steel because it's heavy and thick. Again, before I go any further, it's good to take a file. Here's one. I like this 3-sided file. And check to see if it's copper. Oh, good Lord. Looks like that's aluminum. So what we got here, you'll see this sometimes. Half of these windings are aluminum and half of them are copper. So I will cut it open to get the half out. Here's an example of using the fan shrouds on these units as a place to drain compressors. I've got this sitting on top of a 25-gallon barrel. You can drill a hole in your compressor and set it right here. You can set several of them here and just let them drain overnight. The next day you can take and cut your compressors open. Alright, cutting the ends off these ACRs with a Porter band. Got a tub down low to catch all that falls so they don't go scattering everywhere. I'll just do this one for you, and that'll be enough to show you the process. Okay, Dalton. Now that was quick, made quick work of that. Alright, got done with that. It's getting kind of dark out here. It's overcast and rainy. Now there's the pile of ACRs we wound up with. Now there is a few more in the building, a couple of small ones I got to do. But I'm going to guess I've got at least 80 to 100 pounds of ACRs here. I'll be fooled, but it may be close. And we got quite a few, quite a bit of number 1, number 2 copper. Monday, I think, I'm going to load all this shred steel, these washers, and then all the number 1, number 2 copper wire and tubing, ACRs. And I think I got some red brass. Not a whole lot, maybe a half a bucket of red brass. I'll probably take it as well. But like I said, friends, all this is going to be split 50-50 with whatever charitable cause I find in my area. Alright, friends, my scrapyard don't like for people to film, so I'm not going to show any of the scrapyard. I'm just going to show the load I've got. I've loaded down all the shred steel. I like to pack all the small stuff in refrigerators turned on their backs. This old Coke machine is a good vessel for screws and bolts and small shred that might fall out. I've got a tote full of number 2, some number 1, a bunch of ACRs, some red brass. So I'm not going to show any of the process of me doing this because I want to honor my scrapyard's wishes. They've had people breaking and entering, so I don't want to help thieves scope out the scrapyard. So I'll get with you right after this and show the totals. I'm pretty good with that load. We got grand total $1,266.50. Divided by 2, I believe that is $633.25. That is going to a charitable cause. So there's a little snippet of what everything brought. Let's see, we got shred steel. Everything on the trailer brought $132. There was 1,760 pounds there. Copper Bear Bright, I had 46 pounds at $5.10 a pound for $234.60. Number 2 copper, I had 94 pounds at $470, was $441.80. Number 1 copper, that was probably my tubing. I had 18 pounds at $5 a pound was $90. Red brass, I had 38 pounds at $3.15 a pound for $119.70. And aluminum copper radiators, I had 108 pounds at $2.30 a pound was $248.40. So that was pretty good, my friends. I'm going to go up to the bank and deposit this. And here's a pic of the paperwork where I turn the money into the food bank in my hometown. I just want all my subscribers to see this. That way you knew I was a man of my word. And I thank everybody that donated. And here is the name of the food bank I donated to, the Robbins Area Christian Ministries Food Bank. They feed a lot of people, and I felt really good about making my first donation to the food bank. So I'm going to end the video here, friends. I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and get out there and do something good for somebody. It might make you feel better.